Alrighty folks, and welcome back to another Star Wars weapons and tech video with me, Tenopia, and in this one I'm going to be doing another double feature like the two Royal Naboo Security Forces pistols, and I'm going to be talking about the two blaster rifles used by the clones during the Clone Wars, the DC-15 and the DC-15a. Now we'll kick it off with the DC-15, the big boy of the two. Now, the DC-15 was the heaviest of the DC-15 series of plasma weapons manufactured by Blastech Industries during the Clone Wars. Now, with the adjustable power setting turned up, a DC-15's maximum effective range, when mounted on a tripod, was 10 kilometers, or it could punch a half-meter hole through any masonry wall. Now, as on all the series of these weapons, pulling the trigger releases a small amount of turbina gas, which travels into the conversion chamber, where the ionizing effect of the weapon's power circuitry turned it into highly charged plasma. Now, it's from there that the plasma moved into the expansion chamber, where it was accelerated into an intense particle beam. Now, it was past this point that the beam was focused via a prismatic crystal, passing through another chamber where it went through Galvan circuitry before being electromagnetically accelerated out of the barrel. Now, the barrel itself acted as a collimating tube that adjusts the bolt for accurate targeting. Now, as the entire process generated a great deal of heat, the blaster's barrel was actually equipped with heat radiating fins to facilitate thermal exchange and cool the weapon. Now, both the power charge packs and turbina gas came in replaceable cartridges, and clone troopers carried several of these on their utility belts. Now, the power pack itself would last for up to about 50 shots when firing at maximum power, but to replace the unit, the trooper only needed to hit a release button, slip out the pack, and slide in a new one. Now, however, replacing a gas cartridge was bit more complicated, as it meant breaking the weapon at the midpoint, thus leaving the trooper vulnerable, albeit only for a few seconds. Now, it was for this reason that the DC-15 used large capacity gas cartridges that would last for up to 500 shots. But that large capacity of 500 would be reduced to only 300 when turned up to its maximum power. And now we move on to the DC-15's smaller cousin, the DC-15a. Now, the 15A was actually standard equipment for Republic troops during many key engagements of the Clone Wars, and it possessed several advantages over its larger cousin, the DC-15. And among those who used the weapon to great effect in combat was actually Clone Commander Cody and his crack 212th Attack Battalion. Now, whilst shorter than the DC-15 blaster rifle and easier to handle, the fact that the 15A had only one power setting meant that its charge magazine was good for around 100 shots, after which it could be replaced in seconds. Now, as the 15A's turbina gas cartridges always gave near their maximum 500 shots, a lot of clone troopers rarely bothered to carry spare gas into combat, reserving the tricky business of opening the hatch to swap out the discharged cartridge for much more quieter moments when they're away from the battle zone, for example maybe back at base camp. Now, despite only having a compromised power setting, the 15A was still very effective in the hands of experienced clone troopers. Now, the weapon was easily capable of blasting a hole through heavy armor and had a folding stock that could be extended to improve the aim for burst firing. Now, depending on the trigger pull, it could deliver automatic or semi-automatic fire. There was also a stun mode, which a young Boba Fett used to disable CT-1477 after persuading the clone trooper to allow him to handle his weapon. And then Fett went on to destroy the main reactor of the Star Destroyer Endurance, but was thwarted in his plan to kill Mace Windu in his quarters. Now, an additional feature of the weapon was a Grappling Cable, which Captain Rex and the Torrent detachment of the 501st Legion put to use to scale a sheer cliff during the Battle of Teth. But, however, in order to fire the cable, the stock had to be folded, as the cable was attached to the butt of the weapon. Now, the DC-15A was also used by other fighters. The Christophsian Resistance notably used it in their battle against the Separatist droid armies, and the blaster was also used by the Pantorans during the conflict on Outtro Plutonia. And after the Battle of Ryloth, the Republic's Grand Army relegated the 15A to more secondary roles in favour of the heavier blaster rifle, but the weapon was still widely used throughout the galaxy. Its design suitability enhanced by blast tech would go on to become the basis of the Imperial E-11 Stormtrooper's blaster. And there you have it. That is pretty much what you need to know about the two main weapons used by the Grand Army of the Republic, the Clone Troopers, during the prequels, the DC-15 and the DC-15a. So, be sure to let me know what you think of the video if you'd like to, or drop a like and subscribe to keep up to date with all my latest videos if you want, and I'll talk to you all in the next one, guys. I'll catch you all later.